Hi Flosstube, my name is Becca and I am SamBrie Stitches here on YouTube and on Instagram as well, and TikTok a little bit, and Facebook. And then you can find my designs on Gumroad under SamBrie Stitches Designs and on Etsy under SamBrie Designs. This is a quick little Flosstube special edition. I went to the Port Townsend Antique Mall, I believe is what they are called. Yeah, Port Townsend Antique Mall yesterday with my older daughter. We had gone to Port Townsend on Mother's Day, which I'll talk about in my regular Flosstube. But we went back yesterday because I discovered that there was a antique store in the area. Little did I know that it had 2 floors and it's amazing. And I wish I would have recorded. From now on I will, because we have plans to go to other antique shops, because now I'm obsessed. I'm outside, everything's wet. I didn't bring a chair, but I just have a couple of things to show you really quick that I purchased from the antique store yesterday. The first one that I got is this big wooden spool. It's huge. I haven't measured it or anything. It's solid wood. It'd be really cool for a finishing piece or scissor holder. This was like $14. That is an insanely good find. So I'm really happy with that. Pretty solid. So there's that one. I found this that they called an antique spool as well. It's metal. This was like, I don't know, I can't remember if it has a 17, I think, for this one. And what I was thinking is I'm gonna have it on my table next to me on the couch and hang my scissors and maybe my floss from this, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's really neat. So I thought it would just be kind of neat for my table. So there's that. And then my first ever pincushion, I have 2 small ones that were sent to me as gifts. They had a ton of different pincushions. Some that had like weird ladies' heads and stuff on the top of it. They had like a high heel shoe that was a pincushion. They had regular like tomatoes. There was an insane amount of buttons, which I grabbed some mother of pearl buttons from there. They just had a ton of different, it was insane how many buttons they had. But I grabbed this one because my favorite color is purple, and 2 because it had this little strawberry attached. This guy was like $10 and it came with all the pins. I assume it's handmade. I don't know, it was in the same area as this spool and the buttons, so it's really cute. And now I have a little tomato. Yeah, there's like heart and moon and like a whole bunch of pins on there, which is really cool. But yeah, so I grabbed that. And then if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I bought an antique sampler off of eBay from the UK. It actually just passed customs today, which is exciting. eBay sends amazing updates on that. So it is winging its way to me, and her name was Elizabeth Horry. And I absolutely love that sampler, and I'll show it to you when it arrives. The saying just absolutely spoke to me. I just did a little sneak peek of her little name, the cartouche of her name, and it comes with all of the history too. But the cool thing was yesterday, down on the bottom floor, one of the last rooms that my daughter and I went in, up in the corner on the wall was a sampler, like it was a framed piece. Now, I immediately took a picture and sent it to Susan Stanley, A Stitch in Time. And I also sent a picture to Brenda and Laura as well, because I am new to antique samplers. I'm dabbling in designing, and I say dabbling in my own designs. And I bought the antique sampler off of eBay to reproduce. But I think this will be a better start for me since the other one's still winging its way to me. So this is the antique sampler. It's actually 2 samplers. So this is how it came. It was hanging up on the wall. The first one on the top looks really, really old. The problem is there are no years on these. And like I said, I'm really, really new to antique samplers. The top one is Lizzie Payne Gross, and she was age 15 years. And it was just the alphabet, which I thought would be really, really simple to try and reproduce as my first one, and maybe turn it into a drum or finish it on like a spool. And then the other one is Elizabeth Eldridge, and she was age 12. And it looks like she didn't get to finish. I'm going to come around this side. It looks like she didn't get to finish it because she did her name again, and she spelled sampler wrong. Made in the, and then it looked like she was going to start here, but then nothing. But both Susan, Brenda, and Laura were like, yes, I would have bought that right away too. What I did already is, so this was framed in the US. So on the back, it's framed by Arjan Custom Picture Framing. They have 2 locations in Minneapolis and Hopkins, it looks like. So I know nothing about them, but what I did last night, because I was really, really hoping, you know how some people open up antique samplers and there's like history or like notes or something on the inside? There was not. The way that he framed it, I'm gonna take the paper down because I just sliced around it. So, you know, if there's cardboard, but there's like these little metal nails. And what they did, I'm gonna take the cardboard out. So there was just cardboard backing. What they did that really kind of upsets me is this is just like on, I don't even know if this is foam core. It just looks like it's just on cardboard, kind of like the poster board. It doesn't even look like foam core. And they put some blue fabric on the front of it, and then they just stuck these down. Now they're not stuck down, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be touching these. I know nothing about it. So they're not stuck down like really bad, like you can lift it up. So I'm thinking I want to take them off of these just to preserve them. But my question to y'all is there any way to do any sort of research? I'm new to Ancestry.com. I tried to put in like their names, but I have nothing else to go on. So if anybody recognizes, like, could this be UK? I don't even know how to research, or if I can. But I'm hoping even if I can't get any history, I can still reproduce it and people will still want to stitch it. I know it's just a simple alphabet, but I mean, it was a great find. And, you know, 2 little girls, 12 and 15. And I think the one that's coming from the UK has the date of 1830. And I want to say she was 10. The strange thing that really got to me was, so I originally purchased that one on eBay. Hi, Emmys. The dogs are out. Oh, you can't see her because she's so small. Here, come here, baby. There's Emmys. So the original sampler was an Elizabeth, and then I'm walking through this antique mall, and these 2 small ones are both like Elizabeth or Lizzie. Okay, okay. So I thought that was just crazy that all 3 of the samplers that I found that called to me were Elizabeth. That's also my cousin's name too. So anyways, so if any of you have any advice whatsoever on how I could research, any suggestions on reproducing, let me know if you're even interested in these. I just think it's very cool to own a piece of history. I have always said I've never ever been a reproduction stitcher. And now, since dabbling in designing, I'm finding a new appreciation for antique samplers. And I don't know how crazy I'm going to get with them, but with the one that was coming from the UK, my husband said that he feels that I should have my own lady of the flag. Now, coming from my husband, that's huge. He's always been very supportive of my stitching and my endeavors and all that. But for him to know that Lady of the Flag is a very coveted, hard to find, out of print chart that so many people want to stitch, he feels that I should have something like that. No, mine will never be out of print. I don't know how coveted or how many people will want to stitch it, but just the fact that my husband said that and that he supports and backs me and told me to buy it, and it wasn't a cheap sampler, but it was worth it. It just means the world to me. So I'm very excited to receive that, and I'll record when I get that. And I had reached out to Susan Stanley to kind of help me, since she knows a lot about samplers. So we might get together when that arrives and go down to Acorns and Threads and pick out floss and fabric. This is going to get me out of my Ada comfort zone for that. I think these, I haven't looked too closely, but I think these are actually stitched over too. And this looks like a really tiny count of linen. So I'm gonna try my hardest to stitch on linen, y'all, because I just want to reproduce them in all their glory. So any help, any advice would be appreciated. I'm super excited for this new endeavor. We'll see how well I do. I don't know, I have to learn a new designing program to do these, because my basic little one isn't gonna work for over 2. So anyways, I wanted to share my antique finds. If y'all would like to see me record and take pictures when we go antiquing, let me know if that's something you'd like to see, because I think that my daughter and I, she gets Sundays and Mondays off. So Mondays, on my non-adventure days, her and I are gonna try and go antiquing. So we'll see. Anyways, this was a quick little video. I just wanted to share my goodies with you on my antique finds and kind of get your feedback and advice. And I shall see you all probably next week with a regular Flosstube update. So until then, everybody, happy stitching.